श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम् वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। कूजन्तं राम रामेति मधुरं मधुराक्षरम् आरुह्य कविताशाखां वन्दे वाल्मीकिकोकिलं मनोजवं मारुततुल्यवेगं जितेन्द्रियं बुद्धिमतां वरिष्ठं वातात्मजं वानरयूथमुख्यं श्रीरामदूतं शिरसा नमामि। आपदामपहर्तारं दातारं सर्वसम्पदां लोकाभिरामं श्रीरामं भूयो भूयो नमाम्यहम्। दक्षिणे लक्ष्मणो यस्य वामे च जनकात्मजा पुरतो मारुतिर्यस्य तं वन्दे रघुनन्दनम्। Okay, Hare Krishna everyone, welcome back. We're going to start with 72nd chapter of Ayodhya Kanda. Bharata has just returned from his grandfather Ashwapati and his maternal uncle Yudhajit's home in the Kaikeyi kingdom. And as he entered Ayodhya, he noticed that Ayodhya looked very different. The people didn't seem happy. Everyone's faces were sullen. The pujaris were not doing deity worship. The deities in the temples looked neglected. The streets were not cleaned. People were not roaming around happily as they would previously do. No one was cooking in their homes. Children were not playing. Everything was decrepit, neglected, disheveled, and the entire air carried a sense of moroseness. So he was wondering what was going on, especially given that he had a dream that portended something inauspicious. So he was not sure. So when he, now this is where we are going to start the second verse of chapter 72. When Bharata walked in to his mother's palace, she got up from her golden throne and ran to receive her son. And Valmiki Muni uses some really nice words that have meaning here. So she says, Anupraptam tutam drashtva Kaikeyi proshitam sutam utpatat tada hrishta tyaktva sauvarnam asanam. Anupraptam tu tada drushva. As soon as she saw her son Kaikeyi proshitam sutam, she approached. She went for, or she reached out for her son. Utpapatah tada harshra. She got up and ran towards him with her heart filled with happy harshta. Tyaktva sauvarnam asanam. Sauvarna means of gold or golden. Suvarna is gold. Sauvarna is of golden asanam, her seat or throne. So the idea is she wanted wealth. She wanted her son to be the king. And her attachment to her son is greater than her attachment to wealth. And this is why she rejected or she gave up the throne and ran towards her son. And this sense of attachment to my son, or any sense of relationship where we put a my in front of it, my son, my daughter, my husband, my wife, etc. This kind of attachment leads to a sense of blindness of reality. And when we think of someone blind to reality, we think of Dhritarashtra. He had this such enamored love for his son Duryodhana that he was blind to the reality of what Duryodhana was doing. So Kaikeyi gave up her throne and went. So as soon as she came up towards Bharata, Bharata offered his obeisances, and Kaikeyi lovingly embraced her son. And she asked, how many days did you take to get back from there to here? When did you arrive? Are you fatigued? Are you tired from your travel? And how is my father, Ashwapati? And how is your uncle or my brother, Yudhajit? How are they doing? And Bharata answered, well, today is the 7th day, which means it took me 6 days to get here. And they're all doing well. And they've given many gifts for me to bring along. They've given gifts for you, etc. Now, before we go into what he asks Kaikeyi, let's appreciate that he has the name Bharata. Now, when the children were being named 14 days after their birth, Vasishtha Muni particularly gave this boy the name Bharata because of his ability to bear a burden. So generally, Bharata, the burden that he bore, that he was the king for 14 years. And he was bearing the burden of responsibility of ruling Ayodhya for 14 years. So something to consider is Ramachandra ruled Ayodhya for 11,000 years. But the kingdom on Ramachandra's shoulders does not get labeled as a burden. But the kingdom on Bharata's shoulders gets labeled as burden. So the burden that Bharata is bearing is that he is very, very carefully bearing entire Ayodhya, which actually belongs to someone else. That is his idea, that Ayodhya does not belong to me. It belongs to Sri Ramachandra, and I'm only carrying it on his behalf. Now, when people carry their own loads, it doesn't feel like a burden. But when you're carrying someone else's load, then it is burdensome. For example, we carry our own bags, right? And we all know if you have moved from one house to another house, how it all is. And for many of us who are grahastas, these items increase. When I graduated from college, and I came to America with 2 suitcases. They were filled with stuff, but 2 suitcases, heavy, packed to the brim. Then when I graduated from my graduate program, in addition to 2 suitcases, I had 4 or 5 more boxes. Then we moved to Chicago, got a home, and then when we moved from there, we had to hire a small truck. From there, when we moved again, the truck became bigger and bigger. So like that, because that's the tendency of a householder, is to gather and collect things. So when I'm carrying my own burden, my own suitcases filled with clothes and gifts and whatever, even if it is heavy, I still have some sense of this is mine, so it's not so bad. But if I have to carry someone else's, or someone else carrying my suitcase, then it definitely becomes heavy and burdensome. 1 second. Okay, can you all hear me and see me clearly? No issues?
It is
Now we can hear.
breaking sometimes.
Okay.
I can see you, Prabhu.
Okay, let me try again. Okay, hopefully things should be better now. It's because I got a message that my internet connection is unstable, but I think it should be okay now. Yeah, so if someone else is carrying my burden or my belongings, then it feels burdensome. But Bharata was carrying something that did not belong to him. The kingdom is Ramachandra's. Therefore, his name got Bharata, one who bears a burden. Another is Bharata, as we're going to see now, and please make a note of it as you hear the narration next week and after that, that Bharata is also bearing the burden of being misunderstood or being blamed. Uh, Kausalya doubts his fidelity. Then Guha doubts his fidelity. Bharadwaja Rishi doubts his fidelity. Lakshmana, his own brother, doubts his fidelity. And he has to go through all these obstacles, justifying or defending his position. That actually he has no malice towards Ramachandra. All he has is very, very intense love for his brother, and his heart is completely shattered that his brother has to go away to the forest for 14 years on his account because of his mother. But he's bearing all of that. So, and he has the ability to bear it, and therefore his name is Bharata. So, Bharata then asks Kaikeyi, why is everybody in the palace so desolate? I don't see Dasharath Maharaj anywhere. Usually he is in your palace and is always with you. Is he in Kaushalya's palace? Because he wants to go offer his obeisances. And he also had this dream, so he wants to make sure Dasharath Maharaj is okay. So this is what Kaikeyi says. Tam pratyuvacha Kaikeyi priyavad ghoram apriyam ajanantam prajananti rajya lobhena mohita. So she gave him the bad news delightfully. Why? Because she was greedy for the kingdom. Rajya lobhena mohita. So she had gotten what she was looking for. So although it was bad news for everyone else, she delivered it delightfully. And she says, "Yeah." So she answers, "Where is Dasharath Maharaj?" And she tells him that he is no more. So she answers, "Ya gatihi sarva bhutanam tam gatim te pita gatah Raja Mahatma Tejasvi Yayajukah Satam Gatihi." So your father has received or achieved the destination that all living beings achieve. So there is a crude way, he's dead. That's the crude way. That's the American way. You put in 2 words that he's dead. In the more sophisticated, it's death is not mentioned, so it says he's gone to where all living entities go. Ya gatihi sarva bhutanam tam gatim te pita gatah. He's gone to that destination that all living entities achieve. Raja Mahatma Tejasvi, this great king, your father, Yayajukaha Satam Gatihi, a very, very intelligent person who was always engaged in sacrifices. for others. So Bharata fell on the ground and started lamenting and crying very, very profusely. So she goes up to Bharata and consoles him, raises him up, and tells him to be a man of intelligence and that death is inevitable. Anybody who's born will have to die. Right? The Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Jatasya hi dhruva mrityum, mrityasya janma dhruvam. One who dies is sure to be born again. One who is born is sure to die. So then Bharata says, or he asks, what disease did Dasarath Maharaj die from? Because when I left, he seemed very hale and hearty. So what happened? And then he says, Ramachandra and my other brothers must be very, very fortunate that they were able to perform the final rites for Dasarath Maharaj. He said, I went happily to Kaikeyi kingdom knowing that my brother, my worshipable deity, Ramachandra, has been coronated the king. So he says, please announce to Ramachandra that I have returned from Kaikeyi kingdom and I would like to offer my respects to him. And then he says, here is a glorification of Ramachandra by Bharata. How he sees Ramachandra, although he's his brother, he says, Yo me Bhrata, that Ramachandra, who's my brother, Bhrata, Pita is as good as my father, Bandhu, my very, very dear friend, Yasya Daso Asmi Dhimataha. I am the servant of such a personality. Tasya Mam Shigram Akhyahi Ramasya Aklishta Karmanaha. Please announce to this Ramachandra Dhimahi, Dhimataha, who has very, very acute intelligence, and Aklishta Karmana. He is a person who can do any activity in the universe without feeling tired or without making an effort. This word Aklishta Karmana appears again and again and again in reference to Ramachandra and also in reference to Hanuman. So Aklishta Karmana means achieving or doing some activity without putting effort into it. Any one of us living entities, we have to put a lot of effort into anything that we have to do. Without effort, nothing happens. But for the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Natasya Karyam Karanam Cha Vidyate. He can achieve anything and everything without any effort. So he says, what were my father's last instructions? I want to dedicate myself to them. So Kaikeyi says, Rama iti Raja Vilapan ha Site Lakshmana iti cha sa Mahatma Param Lokam Gataha Gatimatam Varaha. Your father, the king, when he was dying, was calling out, Ha Ramachandra, Ha Sita, Ha Lakshmana. He was only calling out to them as he died. And she said, Siddhartha tu Nara Ramam Agatam Sitaya Saha Lakshmanam cha Mahabahum Drakshayanti Punaragatam. That you will be able to see them, all three of them, when they return. Punar Agatam. So Bharata is surprised. What? He was calling out to Ramachandra, Sita, and Lakshmana while he was dying, and I could only see the three of them when they return. So natural question is, where did they go? So where did these three go? And she says it in the most cold hearted way, without any sense of remorse. She says they were banished to the forest. When Bharata hears Ramachandra was banished to the forest, he can't put two and two together, because generally a person with bad character or a person who has very severely defied the king, I mean treason, committed treason, or some grave dharmic fault, such persons are banished from the kingdom. So back in Ramachandra's ancestry, we remember a story of Asamanjasa. Asamanjasa would throw little children into the river and kill them. And his father, Sagara Maharaj, did not like it. And so he banished Asamanjasa from the kingdom to live in the forest. So Bharata says, well, hold on a second. It is not possible for Ramachandra to steal the property of a Brahmana. So these are the reasons why someone will be banished if they steal the property of a Brahman. Then he says, it's not at all possible for Ramachandra to ill-treat either a rich or a poor virtuous person. So it's not possible for Ramachandra to do that. Third, Ramachandra is not interested in the wife of another man. So what is the reason that he was banished? So Kaikeyi says, you're correct. None of these three are the reasons. And she breaks it to him. Maya tu putra shrutva eva ramasya eva abhishechanam. Yachitah te pita rajyam ramasya cha vivasanam. My dear son, please listen. Maya tu putra. Oh, my dear son, listen. It was on my request that he stopped his coronation. Yachitah te pita raj. Yachita is on my request. Rajam Ramasya. He took away the kingdom from Lord Ramachandra, and Vivasam. Vasa means to stay. Vivasa means not allowed to stay. So he was removed from the kingdom. And your father, he succumbed to the sense of grief of separation from Ramachandra. But you need not lament, my dear. Rather, get up and courageously accept this kingdom that is waiting for you. Please consult with the ministers what needs to be done and take up the throne. So Bharata did not know what to say. He was at his wits' ends, as they say. He says, Bharataha dukkha samtaptaha. Samtapt means burning with grief, tormented or burnt with grief. He says, Kimnur karyam hatasya iha mama rajye shochitaha. Vihinasya atha pita cha bhrata prittu samena cha. He says, without my father and my Ramachandra, my older brother, who's exactly like my father, what use is the kingdom to me? And I'm in this complete state of despair right now. And he says, making Dasaratha to die and turning Ramachandra into a forest dweller. You have brought so much calamity to this entire forest. And now the way you're saying it, it's like rubbing salt on a wound. And then he chastises his mother. You have actually come into this family simply for destruction of the entire Ikshvaku race. Okay, you're like the night of destruction, before the night that comes before the destruction. And I don't think my father was aware that he was embracing charcoal to his chest, because charcoal burns. Although it looks like there is no fire in it because it's covered by ash. Krishna uses the phrase "dhume na vrihate vanihi," like fire that is covered by smoke or ash. It doesn't look red hot, but when you touch it, you know that it is blazing hot. So my father was embracing you like he was embracing a piece of coal that didn't look, that was burning. And he says, oh, horrible woman, you caused the death of my father. And you have become completely unchaste. In fact, because of you, all of happiness in our Ikshvaku dynasty is gone, and it is become a victim of ignorance. My father, King Dasharatha, who was always true to his promise and was immensely famous throughout the whole world, now died in grief because of you. Why did you kill such a king who was so righteous? And what is the reason that you sent him away, sent Ramachandra to forest? Now, how am I going to stand in front of Kausalya and Sumitra and live a life looking at them? Other than guilt and shame, how else can I even face them? Okay. But Ramachandra never behaved badly to you. In the same way, how can I behave anything else but respectfully to Kausalya? She's my oldest mother or elder mother. She is she's a woman of such high character. And now I have to think of Ramachandra living in the forest wearing tree bark and matted hair. You sent him away. What is it? You're a greedy woman, and you have underestimated my love for Ramachandra. What have you done? You've destroyed our whole kingdom. How can I protect this kingdom when great lions like Ramachandra and Lakshmana are not here? What am I supposed to do? So Bharata is in just complete distress. And he says, even if I have to somehow find some strength to rule this kingdom, I don't have the intelligence nor the strength nor anything. Even if I have to do it despite all of this, one thing I will not allow you. You're a very greedy person. Somehow or the other, I will make sure that your desire is not fulfilled. In fact, if I have to completely give you up, I have to desert you as my mother, you're a woman of very evil mindedness. I will stop treating you like my mother anymore. In fact, my relationship with you is ending. How can you even come up with such an idea of banishing Ramachandra to the forest? Says, oh, cruel woman, I feel that you are not even slightly cognizant of the rules that govern kings. You're not even aware of the procedure of how someone becomes the king, right? So remember Bhagavad Gita, Dhyayato Vishayan Pumsam Sanghasteshu Upajayate Sangat Sanjayate Kamaha Kamat Krodho Vijayate Krodhat Bhavati Sammoha Sammohat Smriti Vibhramaha Smriti Bhramshat Buddhinashaha Buddhinasha Pranashyati. This is what Kaikeyi went through. That her intelligence was bewildered by her greed, by her attachment to that her son should become the king, or her insecurity, if you will. And Bharata says, according to the rule of administration, the oldest son or the eldest son indeed becomes the king. And this is what has been going on for generations. How could you change it? Even kings in your ancestral line, where your father is concerned, even that's the same thing. That's how it is done. So how can you be so stupid? How can such an idea even come into your mind? You've done a criminal act. Now, I will go back to the forest and I will bring Ramachandra back. Okay? Whatever it takes, I will, if I have to beg him, fall at his feet, cry, throw a tantrum, I don't care what it will take. I will go and bring him back and I will dedicate myself in becoming his servant. Without that, there is no reason for me to live. Okay? And he was so angry. The verse Valmiki says, he says that he was roaring like a lion in a cave. So he says, Shoka aturah cha api nanad bhuyah simho yata parvata Gauhyasya, Gauharasya tha, like a lion that was roaring in a mountain cave, and the whole sound was reverberating. He was so angry with Kaikeyi. Then he again didn't stop, started a whole new round of chastisement again for his mother. He says, just get lost from Ayodhya. You have no place to be in such a wonderful dharmic location. Dharma kshetre, kurukshetre. Like that, this is a holy place. In fact, when certain deeds are committed in holy places, they have greater impact, positive or negative. So when one does some pious activity, some favorable activity for Krishna in a holy place, it gets multiplied like anything. But when one commits an offense to a devotee or the deity in a holy place, that also gets multiplied very intensely. So he says you have abandoned all sorts of dharmic qualities. In fact, you'll be dead very soon. For no reason, you went after Dasarath Maharaj and Ramachandra. He says, Kaikeyi, go to hell. He says, Kaikeyi, first of all, he never says Mata. Okay, generally you don't call your mother by name. It's a violation of etiquette. But his anger is, he says, Kaikeyi narakam gacha ma cha bhartur salokatam. Okay. In fact, ma cha bhartur saloka. So we know what Salokya means. Salokya is the liberation where you are living on the same planet or the same place as the Supreme Lord. So, Alokana is where you are living. Saloka means along with. So he says, Macha Bhartur Salokatam. May you never get the destination of where your husband is. Because chaste women apparently get the same destination as their husband. So he says, Kaikeyi narakam gacha. Instead of going upwards, go downwards. You have offended me as well. I'm your son. And then he says, the amount of shame and notoriety you have brought me, thinking that you're trying to help me and do something good for me, has actually harmed me. Because in your greed, you thought my son will be very happy to be the king. In fact, you have completely destroyed my happiness, and you've killed your husband in as a consequence of it. I will never speak to you again. And Kausalya, Sumitra, and my other mothers are in great misfortune right now because of you. You brought the entire family so much disgrace. In fact, you don't even seem like the daughter of Ashwapati, who's such a pious and sensible king. You were born as a demoness, to destroy the house of my father. You've committed a great sin. And the outcome of that sin is I have to live without my brothers. And now people will dislike me. So this is not like a doership mentality, but people will dislike me, thinking, oh, mother and son were in this together. There was collusion to throw Ramachandra out of the kingdom and put himself as the king. And he says that actually, Angah Pratyagajah Putra Hridayacha Api Jayate Tasmat Priyatarah Matuhu Priyatvan Nachu Bandhavah. That a son is the most beloved to his mother, as he is born from the mother, because the mother gives all the body parts. Okay, because it says all other relatives are only like friends, but the relationship between mother and son is very, very special. Then he narrates the story of Vasishta Muni, who was in possession of this Kamadhenu cow. Her name was Sabala. So Bharata says, Anyada kila dharmagya surabhihi surasammataha vaha vahamanau dadarsha urvyam putro vigata chetasav. So this cow, which belongs to the Kamadhenu category, uh, she was once with her uh, children. Some of them were bulls and some of them were cows. And what happened is, seeing her sons, they were a pair of bulls, right? And they had become very, very tired after working hard as part of their life on earth. So when they became very tired and fatigued, Kamadhenu started crying with her eyes full of tears and grieving for the fate of her sons. Then he says, small and sweet smelling teardrops of that mythical cow fell on the limbs of the great Indra, who was traveling at a lower level in the sky. Now, seeing those tears falling on Indra, Indra recognized, oh, these are the tears of Kamadhenu, the very sacred uh, um, celestial cow. So he looked into the sky and he saw Kamadhenu there standing with anguish and pitiably crying. Then Indra, uh, with hands that were joined in supplication to this cow, said, "Oh, Surabhi cow, you're the well-wisher of everyone, and I hope that there is no panic or there is some reason for your sorrow. What happened? Can you please tell me?" So Kamadhenu said, "Listen, my dear Indra, uh, there is no danger from any other place for me. When I look at my two sons there, the bulls there, who are working so hard, they are being scorched by the sun's rays, and because they're working very hard, they seem very tired, and they're being troubled by a man who's making them plow the fields. I am in immense grief that how my sons, the bulls, are working so hard. And by seeing them, I'm so anguished because they are indeed born from my body, and there is no one equal or greater than a son for a mother." So Indra said, who saw this cow crying like this, Indra did not know what to do. So even the celestial cow, Kamadhenu, will cry seeing her sons afflicted. So he says, when such a Kamadhenu cow who can fulfill everyone's desires, who is equal to everyone in the world, she's very venerable by her own nature. If she can lament, can you imagine what Kausalya will feel? What Sumitra will feel, right? And you are the cause for a mother and son to become separated. So what I am going to do, this is his sankalpa. I'm going to go back to forest. I heard that he's in Chitrakuta. I'm going to go back to Chitrakuta. I'm going to bring Ramachandra back, make sure that he becomes the king, and he will be the one who will perform the last rites to our great father. On this, there is absolutely no doubt. Karishyami na samshayaha. Without a doubt, I will accomplish this. Okay, and as a punishment for myself, I will live in the forest for 14 years. Okay, because I cannot bear the injustice that you have done. And as far as you are concerned, you can also enter fire, or you yourself also can go to Dandaka forest or put a rope around your neck and hang yourself. I don't care what you do with yourself. I mean, these are very, very strong words because the kingdom actually belongs to Ramachandra. And so Valmiki Rishi says, as an elephant in a forest is pricked with the goad, and as a hissing serpent, Bharata was so angry that he fell on the ground. The goad is called Ankusha. His eyes were so red, his clothes were completely in disarray, all his ornaments were discarded on the floor. Although he was a great prince and a great warrior, he lay on the earth like uh, when you dismember a flag from its pole, you know how the flag just falls on the ground, like this. So Bharata, although who was so great, and a person who always symbolized victory, fell on the ground, completely shattered. So that's where chapter 74 ends. So let me see if you have any questions or comments on Bharata's commentary.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Quick question. A wonderful class, Prabhu. Was trying to understand when Dashrath Maharaj passed away. So was the information not informed to Bharata when he was away and all?
No, yes, they was not informed. So last week, what happened is Vasishta Muni sent 5 of Dashrath Maharaj's ministers to go by horses to Ashwapati's kingdom and give a very specific message. The message was Vasishta Muni wants you to return to Ayodhya immediately. Everything is okay. That was the message he was given. And that's what exactly they repeated. Verbatim, same message was repeated. But Bharata has this dream. So he's not sure what happened. He knows something's not right, but he doesn't know what's right. So he asks the minister, is everyone okay? Is my father okay? Is my brothers okay? Is the kingdom okay? And they say, everything's all right. Vasishta wants you to come. Please come immediately.
Okay, so that's where he did not return. Okay. Thank you, Prabhu.
Oh, he returns immediately. When they say like that, next morning he gets on his chariot and leaves.
Oh, okay, so the last rites did not happen, Prabhu? The body is still
Not
there?
yet. Body is in oil.
Okay, then I got it. Okay. Thank you, Prabhu.
He is the one who's going to perform it.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you for beautifully narrating. You said Bharata had to prove his fidelity to Kaushalya, Lakshmana, Sita. So,
Coming up, yes.
So he is very devoted to Lord Rama. Then why do he have to prove it to others, Prabhu?
Guilty by association. So that is what has happened here. When Kaikeyi did what she did, everyone has a doubt because mother and son generally are very close to each other. So they doubt whether Bharata is part of the conspiracy to send Ramachandra to the forest. And that is where it's very painful for him. That is the burden. That how is everyone doubting me? And so he has to constantly prove himself. No,
Yeah, that's my question. Why should he have to prove? He knows himself, like, he's very devoted to Lord Rama, right?
Yeah, but others are doubting him. No?
So this is the
Kausalya-
doubt I have, like, even in our day-to-day life, like someone is doubting us, like, with our fidelity. Should we have to really prove them, or like, for ourselves, we know, how, we are sincere or devoted or whatever be the context.
It
Should we have
depends
to
on the
prove or
situation.
just leave it to Krishna?
Either way, depends on the situation. Both are okay. Both are okay. Krishna also proved his innocence in the Shamantaka jewel pastime. The Pandavas, instead of proving their innocence and how they were cheated, they went to the forest for 13 years and waited for their moment of glory to come. Ramachandra also waited 14 years to make things different. So it depends on the situation, depends on the person, depends on their Krishna consciousness, depends on what's going to happen. So Bharata is proving his innocence not for himself. He's proving his innocence so he can convince Ramachandra to come back to Ayodhya. That is why he's doing it.
Okay.
Bharata is all about service.
Okay. Thank you, Prabhu.
Anything else?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. I'm sorry, but I guess my question is again on the same lines which I asked last time, but I'm not able to understand the emotions Bharata has right now for his own mother. And I sense a lot of anger in him. And with that anger, he is saying some negative words for his own mother. And how to interpret this emotions which Bharata is throwing out for his own mother, and why I understand he is frustrated and he is sad about it, but I still feel that no matter what, his own mother, he shouldn't be saying anything negative, or I'm just trying to understand.
Why is the case? Why is one should not speak like that to one's mother? What is the dharmic principle that supports that statement, Shuchi?
To my understanding, it seems that mother is one person who is given anything and everything. So with that, I feel it, for a person, it would be the utmost respect to be given to their mother. And she must have sacrificed a lot for his own son. So that sacrifice or love should be respected, and for one act, it should not be thrown away.
Right. So one act, well, let's see, because she gave birth, that somehow overcompensates that she can do anything vicious, she can do anything vile, illegal, and treacherous. In fact, put the entire Ikshvaku race in destruction. And that's okay because she's mother.
No.
So then that's exactly what Bharat is doing.
But Ram himself is forgiving Kaikeyi. So it seems like Bharata should not be saying anything negative to her anyways. Because
I would like you to reconsider. Just because Ram did not say does not mean others cannot say. All right. So I'll give you examples. When a Vaishnava is offended, the Vaishnava himself or herself may not retaliate. But others who are watching cannot keep quiet. Okay. So Lord Chaitanya, let's start with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu because he is our hero. And we're all somehow or the other trying to follow Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. When Lord Nityananda was begging Jagai and Madhai to chant the holy name, they were drunk, and Madhai took the pot of liquor and smashed it on Nityananda's head. So there was a bruise and Nityananda was bleeding. Nityananda did not say anything to Madhai and Jagai. He was just continuously saying, oh, please chant Hare Krishna and improve your life. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is so gentle, soft like a rose petal, got up in severe anger and said, Chakra, Chakra, calling his Sudarshan Chakra to finish off Jagai and Madhai right there. And Lord Nityananda stepped in. No, 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 please, please, please don't do anything to them. Lord Nityananda was perfectly right in what he was doing. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was perfectly right in what he was doing. Another example. Sri Krishna had promised in the Kurukshetra battle, I will not pick up any weapon, I will not fight. Okay, so he became Arjuna's chariot driver. Bhishma Deva took a vow, tomorrow I will kill Arjuna, whatever happens. And Bhishma Dev, who was also very dear to Krishna, when he fought like anything, there was a point in the battlefield where Arjuna, in the next few minutes, would have been either killed or defeated very badly. That's when Krishna jumped in, picked up a chariot wheel, and raced or charged towards Bhishma Dev. And so he broke his promise to not fight in the battlefield. Actually, the promise was, I will not pick up a weapon, but he picked up a chariot wheel that's technically not a weapon, but also is used as a ballistic, so can be used as a weapon. So there also he broke his promise, supposedly. So don't always have a point of view that this is only how it should be. Just because mother gave me birth does not give the mother a license to do anything she likes. The same Chaitanya Mahaprabhu who took sannyas and wanted to go away, his mother begged him, please don't go too far, stay in Jagannath Puri so I can get news about you in Navadvip. And he agreed. He had immense love for his mother. But his mother spoke ill about Advaita Acharya. Okay, because the older brother of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Vishwambar, would love to hear from Advaita Acharya and heard all his Bhagavatam classes and became a sannyasi. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was growing up, Mother Sachi became very scared that my other son will also become a brahmachari or sannyasi. So she said bad things about Advaita Acharya, that Advaita Acharya actually took away my son. He should not be speaking Bhagavatam or something not palatable. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu became so upset and he said, my mother will never attain the spiritual kingdom. Until the point that Mother Sachi went to Advaita Acharya's home and touched his feet in seeking forgiveness. Then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, everything has been settled. So, Shuchi, I just want you to understand that yes, the position of a mother is the most worshipable position, even greater than any other. Yet, that does not give the mother a license to say and do things that are harmful to so many people just because she wants to protect her son. She was not even protecting. She did it out of greed. It was not protection. So it is not justified.
Okay, that's helpful, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare
Prabhu,
Krishna, Shyam. Yes.
Couple of things here, a little more than that too. One, I love this narration of Bharata that you gave today. It made us feel the emotions which Bharata was going through. Thank you for that. And be a couple of questions, Prabhu, here. One, you mentioned that Bharata saw Rama as aklishta karmana, somebody who perform an activity without effort. we hear sometimes Srila Prabhupada saying there are these 4 classes of people: the lazy intelligent, the busy intelligent, the lazy fool, and the busy fool. And the first class person, Srila Prabhupada would often say, is a Brahmana, is a lazy intelligent. It's okay to be a busy intelligent, but lazy intelligent is the best class. This somehow sometimes brings in within us a sense that we also have to be somebody like this Aklishta Karmana. We minimal effort and maximal output. Any comments on that from your side?
For being a Klishta Karmana, one needs Krishna's empowerment. Without that, it's not possible. Everyone else is only Klishta Karmana. One has to work hard. One has to work or put effort, whether hard or not. One has to put an effort. For example, even to cook, there has to be an effort. Even to take care of basic things, there is an effort. But when Ramachandra fought with 14,000 demons in Janasthana, it just says Rama Krishna Karmana. He fought effortlessly. When Narasimhadev fought with Hiranyakashipu, effortless. It was like playing with a mosquito. Nakham, he says, with his nails. He was as if he was, swatting a mosquito. No effort. So human beings whose hearts are not purified cannot escape the process of purification that is there within one's occupational duties. That is why they're there. It is that effort burns karmic burden. Of course, occupational duty can also bring about more karma, but we are supposed to be performing it in a spirit of dedication to Krishna. Therefore, it is always said, generally we say, Krishna Arpanamastu. At the end of everything, we're supposed to say Krishna Arpanamastu. Or in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna speaks to Arjuna that after you complete everything, any activity, you're supposed to say Om Tat Sat. And Om Tat Sat is a very specific expression of dedication to the Supreme Lord. And in Sandhya Vandanam, there is Kayena Vacha Manasendriyarva Buddhya Atmanava Prakute Svabhava Karomi Yadyat Sakalam Parasmai Narayanayati Samarpayami. That is required. Then one's occupational duty can be conducted without effort. So take Bhakti Vinod Thakur, for example. What he did was effortless for him. It's not that he stopped going to the courthouse. He was going to the courthouse very actively, but it became effortless for him. Does that address what you're looking for, Shamakul?
Yes,
Prabhu?
yes, Prabhu. Thank you. It reinforces some thoughts and some ideas. Thank you, Prabhu.
Okay, thank you.
Something that you had shared with me much earlier too. Thank you. And one of the theme that we see here between Kaikeyi and Bharata is there is a self-interest and there's a best interest. Kaikeyi had her so-called self-interest with her extended self, like her son had to be the king, etc. And the best interest is the most suitable person here, which is Sri Ramachandra. He has to be the king, and he should not be banished as such. And Bharata does not shy away from taking a stand here.
Right.
So he takes a stand here. Now, if we were to say, apply this in our own lives, apply this principle in our own lives, often a question or a doubt comes up in our mind. For Bharata to have done that, Ramachandra is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That's fine. But for us to take a stand for anybody else who is not perfect, often there are two things happen. One, is it really required? And second is, what will happen to me? What if I take a stand? This person maybe 80%, maybe he's right in a particular circumstance. And yet, if I take a stand, maybe there may be some repercussions on my own self for my life. So do we go with Bharata that we have to protect the principles of dharma, whatever be the consequences? Like how he says, I'm ready to go to the forest. Come,
Yes,
you can do whatever you want.
absolutely. One should. One should. Generally, when someone thinks, what will happen to me? Right now, for example, Bharata was not considering what will my mother think of me? What will my grandfather think of me? What will my uncle think of me if I'm speaking to my mother like this? No, he stood up for this principle. The principle is that what Kaikeyi did was not right. Was she promised something? Absolutely. Dasharath Maharaj had promised her. Is her asking for the boons a wrong thing? No, she has the right. But the intention, he's upset with her mentality that she found a loophole type of situation on a technicality and wanted her wishes fulfilled at the cost of destruction of physically her husband. He died, send away some very dear person that everybody loves simply because I want the kingdom. So that's what he's standing up for. But that is not right. Now, in our case, there isn't a person like Ramachandra anywhere on the planet, anywhere, even in the higher planets. There isn't one. But what is Bharata teaching is a principle that you stand up for a principle. So if the person who we are standing up for, if there is a fault, then let it be addressed in a proper, ethical, legal, moral way. Nothing wrong, but not by such steps of banishing or plotting or something like that. And Bharata didn't care what others will think of me. Now, I know now that I'm speaking like this, after the class or sometime, I will get texts that I feel like doing this or I feel like doing that. I know. At the same time, when Bharata and Shatrughna wanted to strike Manthara, in fact, Shatrughna was ready to chop off Manthara's head. But Bharata stopped him and said, yeah, we cannot do this because Ramachandra will not like it. And as the story continues here, Bharata doesn't hold ill feelings towards Kaikeyi anymore, because when he goes to meet Ramachandra, Ramachandra tells him, make sure that there is no ill feeling towards Kaikeyi. She's treated with respect and she's treated nicely. So Bharata then drops it. So from Ramachandra's side, what he did is right. From Bharata's side, what he did was absolutely right. And once his worshipable deity Ramachandra said, don't hold negative feelings, don't do anything else, he ceased and desisted. So here's a pastime from Chaitanya Charitamrita. Advaita Acharya always felt that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was formal with him. So to get him to being a little more informal and speak with him without inhibition, Advaita Acharya started speaking a little Mayavada philosophy. So when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to know, he came running and started beating Advaita Acharya. And Advaita Acharya's wife, Sita Thakurani, came out running and pleading Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to let him go because he's an old man. Now, we know Mayavada Sunile Hoile Sarvanash. So Sita Thakurani did not even once say, yes, he spoke Mayavad. It is such an offense. Beat him. I think it's a fit punishment for him. She never said. She begged Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So was Chaitanya Mahaprabhu being Krishna conscious at that point of, yes, because Mayavada is offensive to the Lord, he took a very big stand. Sita Thakurani begged Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to not. Was she being Krishna conscious? Absolutely, 100%, because in her dharma as a wife, she is not transgressing that boundary of chastity. So she's saying, so everyone in that situation was perfectly Krishna conscious, except the expression of it was very different. It cannot be that everyone will express it exactly the same way. Of course, we understand that it was a enactment of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Advaita Acharya, because Advaita Acharya got up and started laughing and said, oh, finally there is this freedom from inhibition between me and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So it's a little digression, but the idea is, should one stand up for a principle? Absolutely. How? What way? Is not just, it should be considered and in the spirit of the mood of the person whom we're trying to stand up for. Too much said, which is going to come bite me.
Very sweet. Very sweet.
Badly.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Okay. Final anything before we say Haribol?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. So when Kaikeyi was telling Bharata whatever happened, it still looks like she's not regretting about what happened. And
Yeah,
she's
not. She's not regretting.
okay.
Okay. Thank you all very much for continuing to inspire me to study and share by your own participation, questions, sharing of your insights, realizations, and appreciation for this wonderful couple, Sita Ramachandra, and any of their associates. But thank you. And until we meet again, let our minds be absorbed in the intensity of love of Bharata for Sri Ramachandra and for the complete sense of detachment from kingdom. In fact, the kingdom that is worthy, even more worthy than Indra's kingdom. And yet he values his service to Ramachandra more than the ability to be a sovereign king. That's just one thing among many other wonderful qualities of Bharata. And may he inspire our devotional service to them. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.